Hey folks, back at the bench again. This video might be a little more segmented than it usually is, recovering from a head cold. So if I break into some coughing, I'll probably cut sections and join them all together in the final video. But what we have here on the bench today is the SB Sabers High Ground Elite Collector's Edition with additional parts. The stand itself is still over in the box. I'm not going to show it off today. It's kind of the standard SB Sabers stand itself, but it is with this overall kit. The added part is, of course, the balance pipe emitter. That kind of turns this into more of the Obi-Wan series version of the hilt itself. This one comes apart different than the others. The others separates at this ring up here. The balance pipe emitter is actually the whole black piece, separates itself, and it slides down over the neck in order to reveal your set screw right here for blade retention. So that is the added emitter that could have been received if you'd ordered it through SP. I ordered mine for this kit a while back. We're going to lay that one off to the side. This is the aluminum emitter, and like I said, it comes apart this way, where the top flange separates and comes apart that way to reveal your set screw there for blade retention. And we'll lay that one aside. The chrome emitter comes apart just like the aluminum emitter does up here, and this one currently has the blade plug in it, which is the way I had it when I had it on display. It has the 6 different thin neck parts that you can change tops and bottoms to make a lot of different combinations. For the most part, I usually ended up using this combination. As for the display that I had with the chromed emitter, I believe this matches kind of the Return of the Sith movie screen version to my liking the best. But we're going to lay all of those off to the side. And then we have the aluminum pommel, as well as the chrome pommel, which is the only part that I have taken off that I'm going to actually leave here. Now we go into the actual chassis and hilt itself. Obviously, this is the hilt. This is a Gen 2, so you'll see that L, as well as, I think you can see it, yeah, right there on the inside of the pommel. Indicates that it's a left-handed thread, meaning it comes off in the direction you don't expect it to. Not a big deal. The threads are great. They work extremely well. I'm not going to lie. It's still a great hilt overall. Just the Gen 2s had a left-handed threading in them. The booster section here is pinned in its clocking by a set screw underneath the control card in the control box itself that you obviously can't see from here. So don't try and unthread this in either direction, because that set screw is set down there pretty tight. And it keeps the Covertek clocked with the box. I've turned the Covertek, I've glued the screw into it, set it in, so that it becomes partly the chassis retention. And of course, because I'm on film now, can't line that back up properly. There we go. Make sure I haven't gone in too far. And then we have the SB Sabers chassis with Profi 2.2, 18650, 28mm speaker, and the SB Sabers chamber kit that he's providing for a lot of his thin neck hilts. This one I decorated with 2 actual quartz crystals, really small ones. I've got a single pixel on the top and a single pixel on the bottom so that they both light independently. And then a stock connector up here. Oh, and I do not have either of, obviously, as you can see, either of the thin necks installed yet, because I'm not sure which way. Might want to go with the final version of the hilt itself. So for right now, the thin neck is still left open. Dual switches line up with the card in the control box itself. There is no kill switch, so I've got the battery taken out for the moment, but we'll pop that in a second and kind of show you the demo of it. Inserting the chassis, you'll see this groove lines up with the two greeblies on the side of the main section of the hilt. Two switches line up with the control box. And I find that this lines up with the switches in the control box the best when you have the grenade section attached to the main body. It just lets it not go too far in. And there it is, and you'll feel. And that's at the point when I just kind of put my thumb here and just gently snug that against the chassis so it doesn't come out. There is a ring right there inside the pommel that helps push the chassis forward. However, if you're using it this way, I don't find that that's needed. If the Covertek is loose, I also find that screwing this on tends to twist the chassis just a little bit because that groove here is not as tight as it could be. But again, that's printing tolerances, machining tolerances, everything kind of come into play together. But if it spins the chassis just a little bit, these don't get as good of a feel to them as they do right now. So I'm going to pull the chassis back out. Oh, and it does, since we're doing this, provide a nice reveal. So if you put the pommel back on, you could put the whole grenade section with thin neck on it in a nice display. So that's also an option here, and provides a great view for the hilt itself. Other way, you could probably just kind of hang it out if you had a good display, or you can lay it out in length like this. Okay. And because of that groove, the chassis does not pull all the way up. Also, additionally, the diameters change down here. So lay those aside for a second. Battery, positive towards the chamber, negative is down here.
Hello there.
And then you'll see both of those crystals light up really, really nice. And I'll try and shade the light from my shop here. We do have gesture controls, as is kind of normal with all Profi installs these days. There's a number of different fonts here, just all Obi-Wan through his lifetime.
Obi-Wan. Ben Kenobi? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Only when the eyes are closed can you truly see the way.
This one, I've set it up as a display font, so to speak. So I've taken all the hums, clashes, those out of it. It's just got a font sound and a boot sound. And then it just kind of gives you some nice light ups in a blade style to, again, give you that display feel. So you can put it out and show it off.
It's just Ben these days.
And then we're back to, I believe, the first font, which is the Obi-Wan series font that so far is probably one of my best and most favorite that I've seen from most of the collectors out there, most of the font makers out there. And then we can pop this back up through here and show you now what it looks like when it's lit. So there it is when it's lit up. And it does provide a very great look, just like this.